First of all, I mean, do you fear that these policies you've been talking about today will just get sort of buried beneath what is going to be basically an election about Brexit?
That's been the issue for the last 3 years, hasn't it? Well, you know, there are serious issues of austerity and poverty pay and inequality, wage stagnation, and then there's this like super narrative of, you know, deal, no deal, withdrawal agreement. So you're right that there is a risk that some really progressive policies, in fact, in my department, one of the biggest transfers of power from employer to worker that we have ever seen, could get lost. But that's my job, isn't it, to make sure that people know that on workers' rights, on employment protections, on trade union freedoms, there will be no more progressive political party than the Labour Party. That is absolutely a guarantee. But of course there is this other huge political consideration, which is us trying to stop a no-deal Brexit, making sure that we don't see a significant economic shock from that being enabled through Boris Johnson's irresponsibility and, you know, kind of superficial care about the nation. And so that's what we've been trying to stop. A no-deal Brexit, but we have to make it, I think you're right to point out, we have to make sure that this general election tells the whole story about what's happening to the nation. Because in the constituency that I represent, it isn't just Brexit that people care about, and that might seem outrageous to people who are absolutely obsessed either with leaving the European Union or really, really care about staying in the European Union. But there are so many other things, you know, poverty pay, as I mentioned, 14.3 million people in poverty.
All right, well, let me just ask you this, Laura.
In work.
Let me just ask you this. How does kicking the can down the road again for 3 months or more help business? How does it help this country? Just more delay and procrastination?
I think you're right to point out that people have, I'm calling it Brexit fatigue. I don't know if that saying's going to catch on, but I feel like there's a tiredness about it amongst politicians, amongst media broadcasters, but fundamentally amongst people in the nation. But this was always going to be a complex process, wasn't it? Disentangling ourselves from over a 40-year relationship wasn't going to be clean break, no deal, as the way some of the hard right want to position it. It's not a delay, it's stopping Boris Johnson you know, making a huge mistake in saying that we leave the European Union with no written agreement and no
Laura,
safeguards.
we've only got 40 seconds left. I'm very sorry we come to the top of the hour, but what is your message to the Labour voters who voted leave? Do they have to now vote Tory or the Brexit Party?
No, I think that people who voted leave have to be very confident that a Labour government is saying that they will go and negotiate a new deal. We have to stop conflating the two issues of no-deal Brexit and leaving the European Union. That's a huge mistake. Getting a written agreement about our withdrawal is not a betrayal, it's responsible. The Labour government would negotiate a deal that is about, you know, protecting workers' rights, protecting those standards. But fundamentally, the things that I've announced today, and I urge people to read the text of my statement, things that I've announced, no other political party can come near it on workers' rights.
All right, Laura, I apologise. We've got to go. It's top of the hour, but thanks very much.